when you see it, like Star Wars, like Transformers, you're gonna
Yeah.
find yourself perplexed and having to see it. You know how many times I saw Star Wars, the first one?
Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
6 times. I paid
Wow.
for it myself,
Wow.
and that's the way that world was. And I think this is bringing a little of that back. I think
Yeah.
it's changing this cinema experience because they're adding the other things that we need to it.
Hmm.
Denise is always playing the for the questions and answers, chicken or the egg. Which one came first, the Black Panther comic book or the Black Panthers with Huey Newton and
Wow.
whatnot? Which one came first? Because they came out the same year.
Someone said there was like a 3 or 6 month difference, and
Yep.
and that it was actually the Black
Which of the
Panther,
yeah,
the comic
that's
that
it
was
was.
first.
This is what they say. This is what
It's
they say.
very telling.
You
Very.
know, it could be, or but you know how things work when it comes to difference between printing and action.
Yes.
Were they the Black Panther and just to call them that themselves that in front of everybody?
Hmm.
Or and that being a group, hey, they made up their mind, but nobody ever heard of them. But then again, that's just because you're born and nobody heard of you doesn't mean you ain't there. You're standing there
Right.
and doing it. They're an organization. They might
Right.
have been there, but
Right.
in official terms, it went out. They say that they were there first, but they were
Hmm.
print. The book came out and it came out 6 months ahead. You know,
Wow.
so
Wow.
I don't know. Okay, but we have some experts.
Right.
Okay.
What do you have to say to new artists out there that want to break into the business?
Well, especially comic book artists. I'm not, I speak
Yeah.
the business of that because I think it's harder than the regular way. The regular way is apply for a job. People
Hmm.
don't know how to do it. I usually give a course on it all the time. I teach that more than I teach comic book how to draw, because how to draw is kind of natural, and either not so much either you got it or not, but you either have the interest to stand still and do it every day. Come home, maybe you got a job and you got to come home and still do it.
Hmm.
So your love of something will stay, but
Hmm.
how long does it get to stay if you never get to exploit what you have in an
Hmm.
industry that you don't know how to navigate? And so
Hmm.
what I do is teach them a job is everywhere. There's whenever you look at somebody, look at something that somebody does, you know, something as simple as this. You go find them and go, well, I would like to take a photograph for you and go
Hmm.
see them.
Hmm.
You're not going to always get what you want, but you're going to get an answer. I tell you, for artists, walk into a comic book artist, walk into a dollar store and look at one of those activity books, look at one of those coloring books, and call that company up. You got a favorite comic book you think you match it, that he draws or she draws the way you like it to look.
Hmm.
Look at who the editor is, call the company up, and send them some work. That people
Hmm.
tend to make this place a mystical place. But I work for Disney and I work for Marvel. I work for General Mills. I work for Hasbro,
Hmm.
Nintendo. You know,
Hmm.
and it all really half the time came down from just saying I'd like to work for that company and call them up.
Hmm.
Work is seasonal, so sometimes there's a season for in the winter, or sometimes like on television. Let's say you want to work for the Simpsons.
Yeah.
They tend to hire everybody in September,
Hmm.
and they do a lot of hiring. They're still
Wow.
doing it. As long as there's a show and there's episodes, they need people to do middle work. And the
Hmm.
minute you start doing that, you start connecting yourself to all the other things. People need other things done all the time, but you
Hmm.
have to contact that which you like, the thing that
Hmm.
you thought that inspired you, so to speak. It keeps you going.
Hmm.
That's
What inspired you to do what you
um,
do?
my mother in Captain America. My mother used to read Captain America, and she used to do all of the Nazi accents and everything. And I thought that was just so amazing that she was bringing this little book that she come home with after working to life. That
Hmm.
suddenly it all made sense when she read it. I was like 4 or 5 or something,
Hmm.
and then one thing after another, she'd bring one book after another, and I started getting my own, and I was in love. I was in love.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
that was it. Um, but I went to school for art, um,
Hmm.
um, and I like I said, for as long as I knew, I asked for the job. I started working for Laramie. I was very young, like 17. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I started working I did animation for a film company that
Mm-hmm.
did used cars. And you know the car, you don't know it, but it's Jimmy Used Auto Parts, saving money
Yes.
stuff. Jimmy Used, yeah, I was like
Yes.
14 or 15.
Uh-huh.
And I just needed a hand drawer because he just fired somebody. He saw me in the streets and says, "Can you draw a hand?
Yeah.
Can you make it do
Wow.
this?"
Right.
And I got a job doing it. And so um, I took it seriously after that there's a job somewhere for you to
Mm-hmm.
do. There's something for you to do. Um, and in this new world, this is your advice to you guys out there, which is just
Yeah.
right, is that this world is becoming exceedingly and progressively what we just talked about. That it's the
Yeah.
future. And regular jobs, regular big jobs even, like fixing a car. Well,
Mm-hmm.
most of it's automated.
Yeah.
Most of the cars put together by machines.
Mm-hmm.
Anything a machine, tellers. We have automated tellers now. We have
Mm-hmm.
automated people who things that separate mail.
Mm-hmm.
We have people. We have machines that call you up to ask you to buy something.
Yep.
Did you pay your bill on time?
Mm-hmm.
Anything that a machine can do
Mm-hmm.
is just replacing or displacing the human element. But
Mm-hmm.
what the machine can't do is make up its mind and create something,
Mm-hmm.
write something, interact with people, ask
Mm-hmm.
them a question that nobody's thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
A machine's never going to say, "Is that a squirrel on your head?" Even though there's no squirrel on your head.
Right.
Just to fool with somebody, it's not going to happen. That creative side of the human element is still always needed. That human touch. I'd rather have
Mm-hmm.
a teller than a
Mm-hmm.
machine. Just do.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to get it so much. But
Right.
knowing that you can create your own things, that people going around making their own lemonade, they're making
Mm-hmm.
new devices that makes life safer or makes life
Mm-hmm.
easier or cozier, that selfie stick, that came from a person. Couldn't have came from a machine. Because a machine isn't thinking about how uncomfortable you are putting your hand up.
Right.
That's where the world is going.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we used to need, we don't need the same way. And so art will always be a place, and it's getting
Mm-hmm.
bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Commercials and TV, and what we call internet TV. What is it,
Yeah.
like 1,000, 2,000 channels? And they
Yeah.
all need content. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you make your own show right now. And the human element is becoming more interesting to everybody by leaps and bounds. I mean, I may be a grumpy old man, and I spend my time saying something like, "Why did I got to watch a show about people who live in Jersey?"
Yeah.
You know, what the heck is the weekend? And
Mm-hmm.
why is
Mm-hmm.
why is this a situation? I
Right.
may not, but the
Yeah.
kids do. The kids, this is a new world that has a new form of a new way to integrate and relate to each other. I'm still
Sure.
learning about my new favorite subject, Afropunk.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
why do you want to dress that way? Do you actually go to work this way? Is this
Mm-hmm.
why is it so close to what is that music like? Because it came from the music and not from exactly the way you dress, but this is how it all comes together. And who's in this thing?
Mm-hmm.
And is this the purveyor? Is it going to stay this way? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. But I know that things change, and things stay that we never think would stay. But
Mm-hmm.
providing the way the world has changed, it could be anything the way it wants. I remember
Mm-hmm.
the day the guy was selling computers was wearing a T-shirt, and he's running. He's a millionaire now, and he still would prefer to be in the T-shirt. He wears suits now, but he also still wears the T-shirts to sell
Mm-hmm.
you an item because he knows that isn't so needed. Like we go to
Mm-hmm.
the store now, everybody's wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah.
They don't wear a suit anymore, or
Yeah.
half a suit, because it's become about what's most essential, the most pure idea, and how we're going to relate. And this
Mm-hmm.
universe, this place we live in now, is different, and it really does serve the individual, and I like that. I
Mm-hmm.
like that. We're now men, women, and children coming of age together. I do
Mm-hmm.
believe it's a Me Too movement, but
Yeah.
I but I believe that Me Too is about a little about everything. I think
Yes.
Black lives matter, but I believe Black money matters.
Yes. And how do we make more of it?
Yes, and how do we make more of it? You know, learning all those things are essential, and I think what's essential to saving the world, and I do mean this, saving the world, is that you
Yeah.
recognize your power and act upon it. Act upon what
Mhm.
it is that you have to contribute, because
Mhm.
people who are sleeping on it are being walked right over, and you're getting
Yeah.
things that you have no business being taken from you. You
Yeah.
fought too long to have this stuff taken from you.
Yeah.
So if it isn't that you vote, it's all about then who is voting.
Yes.
That matters. I'll say that even though I don't think that was part of the questions.
No, you have to be at the table. You have to take that seat. If you
Yeah,
don't, you're in the back seat of the car and someone
right.
else is driving you around where
Yes, it
they
is.
want to drive you around.
Right. And you have to ask, how did you get in that seat? Because,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to say it, I don't know who's in the electoral college, and I don't know why their vote matters more. We don't
Mhm.
quite need that. Once again,
Mhm.
that word computer, that word of integrated technology, if one man votes counts, if one person who votes, one person, one vote, if that's the way it is, our computers now, if they could tell us who won a lottery ticket,
Mhm.
and they can tell us who voted.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't want somebody coming to your house to get you because you vote. What I'm saying is, I don't need my votes represented.
Mhm.
I don't need gerrymandering.
Mhm.
I don't need
Yeah, the
electoral
gerrymandering.
gerrymandering, super candidates,
Mhm.
electoral colleges. They're all to represent something, and anything can be misrepresented when you put everybody in one person's hands.
Yeah.
Power corrupts, and ultimate power corrupts ultimate.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I don't follow that as thinking a thing that it's supposed to be. You know,
Mhm.
the reason I even created it was to make choices for people they think didn't have the right to make a choice, and so that should be removed.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
Amen, brother.
yeah, I don't think we would got the guy we got if they were paying
Yeah.
attention to it.
We
Somebody
weren't
else was,
paying
yeah,
at all.
somebody else won that election, as far as I can see. So what's
Mhm.
electoral college got to do with something that somebody won the votes for? I don't know. That's right. That about, and the same thing, like you, I interviewed, I was drawing people and whatnot. I love going to train stations and drawing people and whatnot. And
Mhm.
I was coming back to Philadelphia to go visit my kids, and they had this band of women that went to
Mhm.
Washington to complain. They were
Mhm.
coming back, and it's a young white lady standing there. All these other women are going by. It was one white lady. She's sitting there, and she's looking at me, taking pictures, and looking at everything and drawing. And she said, "So what you doing?" And I said, "I don't know, but I tell you what, let me interview her." I interviewed her. She interviewed me, and she was like you, a reporter. She asked me, "Why are you here?" I said, "Well, it's not about any of this stuff, but this is interesting to me. That is, why do you think so many of you voted for Trump?"
Mhm.
And she actually couldn't answer.
Mhm.
I said, he ain't doing nothing for you. And,
Yeah.
and, and he states really where he stands. Not like he's a liar.
He
Why would you
tells you
vote?
up front.
Right. So why would you vote for somebody who ain't up front for you? You know what I mean?
I
And
don't know.
even when he tells you something that's supposed to be for you, he's lying. And you find it out real early. So why is he here? I don't know. You
Yeah.
should be questioning that. But they getting themselves together now, and that's the part that I go so
Mhm.
beautiful. Okay, you can hear it. We can all hear it. Somebody do something. You know,
Right.
ask me to do something. Ask me. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and I think that's what this is about. I think this movie
Mhm.
is absolute dedication to this idea about what heroism is in
Mhm.
every way that's expected. I love the Medora, the
Mhm.
monarchy, because they're there to protect the king. But
Mhm.
if they don't like something, they're gonna tell you they don't
Yeah.
like it, and they're there to fix the idea of what the king,
Mhm.
not the
Yeah.
person. You
Yeah.
know, I like that. I like that. I like I liked how they just did everything. Everything was just beautiful, and I haven't even seen the movie yet. Just but the
Yes.
design went.
It's so exciting. I
Yes,
can't
it
wait.
is.
I
I
can't
can't
wait
wait
at
either.
all.
I can't wait. You know.
Yeah.
So there it is. There it is. You know.
Well, Paris, I
Yes.
hope that you will join me again on the show,
Yes.
uh, and let me know what you're doing, what's coming out, and so that we can tell everybody to pick it up wherever it is, online, in the bookstore,
Right.
on Amazon, doesn't
Right.
matter.
It will. I will give you the whole spiel. I won't let you get away until I said everything I had to say. You get every last drop from me.
That's the way it should be.
Okay.
Keep creating. If you're still breathing, there's something there.
Well, thank
Definitely.
you. Thank you.
So we're going to close because I think it's been a half hour,
Right.
but it's been a fun half
Well,
hour.
thank you.
Um, Now, if people want to learn more about what you're doing, you have a webpage.
Yes, I have many actually, but let's stick with first. You can find me on Facebook,
Right,
Paris
right.
Cullins, Facebook, and you can find me at Paris Cullins at WordPress.
Okay.
I keep it simple. Paris spelled Paris. Last
Mm-hmm.
name spelled Cullins at
Mm-hmm.
WordPress. I just started, like I said, old guy, just started working the Instagram, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm Paris at Instagram, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
Paris at I'm Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one.
Twitter.
I'm just
Twitter.
learning with Twitter, right?
Yeah.
And I get corrected all the time. It's Twitter, man.
Twitter.
Twitter.
But you tweet,
That's right.
right?
That's
So
right.
you're a tweeter.
That's right. And um, um, Paris Cullins Studios.
Okay.
Paris Cullins Studios. And but this is the most important part because and we went around and I get that what I'm doing for the movie is that
Mm-hmm.
I'm hosting for Museum Black. Denise John
Okay.
has created Museum Black, and that's about all things Black. And we almost did it, but I suddenly realized, oh no, this is the most interesting part. So Museum Black, she's a fledgling founder, and this is her super pet project, and
Mm-hmm.
and it is about the spectrum of the color. It's understanding what the color black means culturally, nutritionally,
Mm-hmm.
um, spiritually. That in all manner, this color has been the most controversial color
Yeah.
uh, that's ever been in human perception and in human life. That
Mm-hmm.
we knew what black was before we knew what any other color was, because
Oh.
we kind of gave it that name. The black
Mm-hmm.
sky, the black nights. That everything has a reason for it, and we have an immediate response, and that you'll find yourself surprised about so many things that are and what they mean, what they
Mm-hmm.
mean. You know, and so the Black Panther kind of is walked right into the middle of that. We kind of take it as a cultural thing, but then when you look at the movie is that this culture that's been taking care of the world, and the world not even knowing it. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's important to know these things. That
Mm-hmm.
this is a perception, but
Mm-hmm.
there's black rice, black penguins, black seals, black
Mm-hmm.
everything, and that the color, that thing we call melanin, has a
Mm-hmm.
great effect in keeping the world harmonized.
Yeah. Balanced, harmonized.
That's right.
Because in color, there's black.
Right. And
You know.
when they say black, there's that term, black as a color, they mean it's the absence of color. How can it be
Mm-hmm.
the absence of color? What exactly does that mean? As an artist, I'm taught that. But what it really means is that the light has no power completely over it. It's the shadow. It's the framework. We're framed
Mm-hmm.
by black and
Mm-hmm.
seasons. We're framed by light.
Mm-hmm.
That one has it reaches in, and it holds things unlike everything else. Blanket pot getting colored black, it gets warmer than a pot that's colored white.
Mm-hmm.
It's using the energy versus just holding it or reflecting it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the
Yeah.
Museum Black, you know, and that's the one that's hosting
Mm-hmm.
the Posh Panther Premier,
Mm-hmm.
23rd and 23rd and 8th Avenue in New York, New York, on Chelsea.
On Chelsea.
Right. But you can go to Eventbrite.
Eventbrite, yes.
That's right. And look for the PPP, Posh Panther Premier. I hope to see you there.
Oh, Lord willing, I'm going to be there.
There we go.
Definitely.
Definitely. All right.
All right. Well, thank you, Paris.
You're
and
more than
thank you,
welcome.
everyone,
Thank you
for hanging out
Thanks.
through the whole interview. And I hope you come back.
I will definitely be back.
All right.
That's up for you all. Thanks. Bye-bye.